Have you ever been told that you're overqualified for a job? Of course you have. Anyone over the age of 40 will tell you that that's code word for old. So, what does conventional advice say to do? Remove the older jobs on your resume, remove the years from your education, and slap a younger photo on your LinkedIn profile, right? You're supposed to play all sorts of games to hide the fact that you're a 50 something with 30 plus years of experience. Well, all of this sounds great until they interview you. You can hide your age all you want on a piece of paper or even online, but you're forgetting one little thing. They're going to figure it out when they meet you. If they're going to hire you, they're going to meet you at some point, and they're going to know you're old, my friends. So luckily, there is a better way, and I'm going to tell you what it is today. Welcome to episode 67, Never Be Overqualified Again. Welcome to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to another awesome, life-changing, soul-searching, earth-shaking episode of Career Uprising. Did you like that? I'm so modest. Oh gosh, I love this show. And you know what's really cool? We are approaching 10,000 downloads probably after this episode or the next one, maybe very soon. We'll have reached 10,000 downloads on this show since it started. So thank you guys. I'm really, really excited about that. I've been getting more good feedback. I just actually signed up another new client on my program this week who found me through the podcast. So I love it. Thank you all for listening. So never be overqualified again. That sounds amazing, doesn't it? If only that could happen. Plus, if you're, or even, I would say maybe even 40 years old or more, getting close to it, this should be a good show for you. This should be a treat. So, where age discrimination comes in, I don't even know, right? So a lot of people definitely 50 plus worry about it, but these days I feel like you're told to worry about it when you're 40. I don't know where that line is really drawn, but it doesn't matter. If this is something that's on your mind, this is what I help people with. I work primarily with mid and late career professionals. So what I did actually was I recently wrote an article. I haven't been blogging as much lately, but I felt inspired to write a blog article with this same title, Never Be Overqualified Again. And it's on my website. And I thought, I should make an episode out of this because this is a really important topic. And it was actually inspired by a conversation that I had with one of my clients who was struggling with this. So I wanted to go ahead and just make a whole show on it. So anytime that any one of my clients has something that they are worried about in their job search, and being overqualified is a big one, an employment gap. What I'm going to teach you today would apply to that as well. Sometimes even just changing industries, and maybe you're in a career change and don't have the direct experience that they might be looking for. What I want you to know is anytime you have anything like that you're concerned about, people think they have to avoid the issue. They think that they have to cover it up and dodge the question, right? And hope no one notices so that they don't have to explain themselves. We've put a lot of energy into trying to avoid certain conversations and things like that in an interview. But I think that's really bad advice. I actually want you to do the opposite, which I'm going to teach you today. Because if you search the internet, you will find some pretty bad advice out there saying you should, take dates off your resume, or put a younger profile photo on your LinkedIn. Dumb stuff, really. I don't advise any of that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if they're going to hire you, they're going to interview you, right? You pretty much don't get a job these days without going on an interview. So this is what I was sharing with my one client about a month ago. I said, they're going to figure it out. They're going to know eventually when they meet you how old you are. And they can usually even guess, even from your resume, how much experience you have. But this is why all of this advice is so dumb, because it delays the inevitable. It just wastes everyone's time. They're going to know your age and your experience level, and you can extrapolate this to anything, your gender, your weight, whatever you might be worried about being discriminated against, right? So what's the point? What's the point in hiding all of these things if they're going to figure it out anyway? I think it actually just perpetuates the problem and reinforces it, really, in a way. And don't you want an employer who wants you for who you are, who values you for your experience and your wisdom? If you want that, you're going to have to stop hiding it and stop apologizing for it. And I know you feel like you can't do that and still get the job. And I think that's wrong. Well, I know that's wrong because I've seen so many people in my clients, my network, and my family be gainfully employed into their 50s and 60s and beyond. So I know it's wrong. You absolutely can do it. But I'm going to give you one tool and one strategy today to help you fix this and help you approach it in a way that you might not have thought to do before. Okay, so if you want to get a job, and especially one that you really want, working for people who want you for who you are and respect you, you need to own your own story. You need to be authentic and confident. And yes, you can do those things and still get the job. That is the message. But where I think that that's where I think people get hung up, is that they think that they can't be themselves. They think that they have to be somebody else in order to get the job. And we're going to turn that on its head today. Okay. I want you to be yourself and not worry that it's going to cost you the job. And if it does cost you the job, it was the wrong job. So it's all good. Okay. So how do we fix this, right? How do we fix appearing overqualified and getting around this kind of elephant in the room? So what most people do right now is they basically wait for the interviewer to ask them about it and bring it up, right? Whether it's a gap on their resume or being overqualified, why would you want this job when, it's a level down or something like that. I see this a lot. So what people do is they wait for it to be brought up by the interviewer, and then they have some kind of, fluffy canned answer ready to go to kind of defend themselves and explain themselves and kind of justify it, right? But here's the thing. If you wait for them to bring it up, it's completely reactive, and it actually gives away your power because it automatically puts you on the defense. Right? So have you ever been in an interview and felt like you were kind of having to explain yourself, or you were on the defense? I know I have felt that way. I've had plenty of blemishes and things that I've felt like I had to overcome, layoffs, being fired, gaps on my resume. I've had to overcome all of those things. So I know that feeling. But you don't have to go into an interview feeling defense or feeling like you're on the defense and you're having to explain yourself to someone. It's just so powerless, and it's not going to result in you getting the job that you really want. And it just chips away at your confidence too, I think. But instead, I want you to do this. Okay. Radical. I want you to be the one to bring the subject up. Be it the fact that you are overqualified or whatever, been out of the workforce for a while, your experience is in IT, but you're going into healthcare, whatever this elephant in the room is that you're worried about. I want you to bring it up. And I know you're thinking, what? Lorraine, I can't bring it up. I'm supposed to hide it. No, you're not. You've been lied to. Okay? So that's the thing about an elephant in the room. We all know it's there. There's nothing to hide. It's there. Trust me, when they look at your resume or your LinkedIn profile, they are probably already wondering whatever it is, right? They already know. So you're not helping yourself. So when you point out though the elephant in the room, which you should do, I'm saying because they know they're going to ask you anyway. It's going to come up at some point. You control the narrative. You might as well be the one who controls the story around it. And in doing this, you are showing them that you have nothing to hide, and then you can steer the conversation in the direction that you want. So for example, I'm going to give you the exact dialogue that I gave my client a couple of weeks ago. So for example, if you are struggling with appearing overqualified for some roles, here's how you could start the sentence out. You could say, I know I might appear to have more experience than what you are looking for, but that is okay with me because I was still really drawn to your position due to my prior success in XYZ. And then fill in the blank with your awesome superpower that you do, right? That's relevant to that job. I know I might appear to have more experience than what you're looking for, but that is okay because, I'm still drawn to your position because, here's why I still think I'd be a fantastic fit because, and then draw the connection, bridge the gap for them. Okay. Call it out. They're going to ask you anyway. You control the conversation. You control how they feel about it and how they perceive it because of how you are just owning it. You have nothing to hide. You are just owning that you're older. You're owning that you come from a different industry or that you had a year-long gap for whatever reason. Bring it up and bring it up in the light and the perspective that you want them to receive it in. This is very powerful psychologically, okay? Put yourself in a position of power, not defensiveness. And it may seem risky to do this, but trust me, the other approach is way riskier, right? The other approach is to just kind of hope and pray that they don't notice your age. They will, hint, and then try to overcome it when they do. Because when you do that, you're already on an uphill battle. Now you've already got something to overcome. And that's not going to get you the job, honestly, because by that time, you've probably already been deemed overqualified in their mind, and now you got to try and undo it. That's the hard way. So this is a tactic also that is used in the sales world, all right? So for example, if you were selling a product to a prospective customer, you would have done your research and already known what their potential objections would be. Or you should, right? This is what the best salespeople do. They anticipate what someone's going to object to someone by doing research and knowing them before they present the product. Well, you should know what's going through the employer's mind, just in the way that they would be your customer, right? And you should know what objections they might already have. Now, you can't predict everything, but the overqualified thing, you kind of know if you're already there, right? So you can anticipate that objection and overcome it before it even comes up. So rather than overcoming an objection, wouldn't you rather prevent one? Ooh, see, that's a game changer. That's what we do in sales. Prevent it rather than overcoming it. So I want you to try that. I want you to think on that, let it sink in, let it marinate, and ask yourself, is that really the approach that I have been taking? If you have, kudos to you. If not, I want you to try this. I want you to kind of reverse your thought process on this and make sure that you are approaching your interviews from a position of power. Okay. Let's take a quick commercial break, but we have more. When we come back, I have got 4 tips for you on how to get hired at any age, even if you're older. Okay, I've got 4 specific actionable things that I want you to consider or do to help you be more employable. Okay? All right, we'll be right back. Hey there, my listeners. We're on a short break, and I have a question for you. Are you looking for a new job, but you don't know where to start? Or maybe you've been searching and it's taking too long and you're not getting any results. Many clients don't know how to launch an effective job search, and they spend months or even years looking. Well, I have a solution for that. My coaching program, Career Jumpstart, teaches you my proven 3-step strategy that has landed hundreds of clients amazing new jobs in about 60 days. In this program, I personally will guide you on how to confidently and authentically market yourself to employers, resulting in a better job faster. If that sounds like what you've been missing, head over to careeruprising.com and apply for my Career Jumpstart program today. That's careeruprising.com. All right, let's get back to our show. All right, guys, I promised you a couple of more tips on how to slay it out there in your job search, even when you are older. So here they are. Take some notes. Number 1, I want you to focus on solving the employer's problems. No matter how old you are, if you can demonstrate that you can solve their problems, so whatever that is, boosting sales, improving safety, compliance, writing software, whatever, you will have a better chance of getting hired. Okay, so in order to know what the company's problems are and how to address them, you've got to do a little bit of research online, within your network. There's a lot of ways that you can do that. Find out who their customers are, who their competitors are, and so on. What would increase their market share? What would make them more competitive? I want you to really think about these things. And skipping this step will leave you less informed and therefore less competitive in the interview. Okay? Number 2, I want you, especially for everyone, but especially if you're older, to stay on top of technology. I do think it's somewhat of a stereotype. It's not always true that older workers are out of date with technology. Some of them are, but a lot of them aren't. But we got to realize that perception tends to be out there. And nobody really can afford these days to look outdated in technology, right? I can't even. I have employ some help in getting the best tech for my business as well, right? Because that helps me and grow my business. So this applies to me as well, but especially to 50 plus job seekers. Okay. So take the necessary classes, certifications, whatever you can do, and put it on your resume to show that you are continuously learning and that you're still in the game and you're keeping up with trends. Okay. Number 3, an emphasis on longevity. So one of the good things is about older workers and baby boomers and that kind of thing is that they often have more longevity on their resume than millennials do. And since that longevity and that employer loyalty is kind of eroding these days, I think that that's a strength. So I think that you can show that on your resume and talk about it and use it to your advantage, right? That you obviously have staying power and the ability to stay somewhere. That can be a good thing these days. All right. So get ahead of the conversation on that one as well and assure them that you are not a job hopper and that you're looking for a career move, and there's nothing wrong with saying, I know I'm, in my 50s or whatever, or, as you can see, I've got a fair amount of experience, but I'm still very much excited about being in the workforce for the next 7 to 10 years. So I'm looking for somewhere where I can stay for a good period of time. Tell them that. Again, it's the elephant in the room. You might as well say it, right? So, and then number 4 of your quick tips here is dig deep into your network, okay? One advantage that older workers and people who've been on this planet longer tend to have is that they usually have larger networks. So knowing that you may be facing some barriers, some age discrimination, your network will be even more critical to your success. I've had a handful of clients recently that I've been coaching, older workers, and I've seen at least half, if not more, of their interviews come from their network. This is really, really powerful. And it's something even I have to do. Most of my leads and clients, a lot of them come from my network and referrals. So this, again, is something that is just, it's so true for everybody. But I think it becomes even more true as you get older. And I think as a generalization, and this is a generalization, I do think that though the younger generation and millennials tend to have a lot of, quote, connections, I have to wonder how deep a lot of them are. I think a lot of social media connections are quite superficial, and don't really mean anything, right? So I'd rather you have a smaller group of people that you know and know you and have a good relationship with. Those are the people that you are going to want to leverage in your job search. So a lot of times I think younger folks think they have a lot of connections, but maybe they do, maybe they don't. That's just my opinion. I'll probably get in some hot water with some millennials, which I'm technically a millennial, you guys, okay? I technically am. So I feel like I can say that. But this is how the best jobs are found. So use that to your advantage. Absolutely. All right. And make it a part of your strategy to apply at companies where you have a connection with someone and could potentially get referred. All right. Our lesson is complete today. I feel like that was a pretty good one. I've got a big hearty one coming for you next week. So because next one will be our last show for the year, which is really exciting. So I've got a good thick message for you guys next week. So I'm going to leave you with that. If you want help with this, I would love to coach you. So you can find me at careeruprising.com. You can also be coached on the air or send me questions that you want me to read on air and help you with. I love answering questions from the mailbag from listeners. So whatever works for you, but connect with me online, connect with me on the socials or on my email address. And yikes, only one more show next week. I can't wait. All right. So I hope this served you, and I will talk to you guys very soon. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by InflowRadio.com. The best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.